good morning and welcome back to another Clive Live-ish this morning on this beautiful Monday morning. And obviously none of this would be possible this morning without my co-host. Good morning, Jude.
Morning. How you going? We're nearly there. We're very close to coming out of our lockdown, so I'm very excited. We're not too far from being able to leave our houses now.
Week 5, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, not long to go. And yes, I bet everyone's super excited. As I mentioned in the pre-live last week, it's time to get those scissors sharpened and ready to go. So it won't be long now. The clock is ticking. But no, thank you once again for joining me this morning. That was such a great session last week with Daniel.
What a great guy.
Yeah, I know. With Daniel, yeah, it was awesome. I don't know about you, but I hardly had time to get home, do my laundry from Adelaide, and now we're off to the UK.
I know. Look at us go. I'm travelling the world here from the house.
If only that was true. If only that was true, we could go somewhere. But we are super excited, as we always are on our Monday morning, Clive Live-ish, Monday Madness, Monday Mantra. The list is growing of whatever we're calling it. But we are coming to you. We're going to introduce you to a very special guest. He's from Leicestershire. Most of you within the Muk family would be familiar with the one and only Mr. Scott Bailye. Welcome, Scott.
Good morning. Welcome. Great to be here. The UK.
I tell you what, I so wanted to go woo right there. I wanted to do it because I know, but we'll come to that bit later. Because I know that is his signature. But mate, welcome. It's great to have you on the show.
Thank you. It's really a pleasure to be here, to be with the family as well.
And I think like the whole world, none of us are immune. You've also been through lockdown and all that kind of stuff, which we'll cover throughout the show this morning. And we want to know more about you. We want to find out. I mean, I've had the privilege of meeting you. We met in Covent Garden on a very, very cold Sunday morning. And if I'm not mistaken, I think when I was drinking, I introduced you to your very first Bloody Mary.
You did.
Right?
Correct.
Yeah.
It was a memorable experience.
But it was great catching up. So obviously I've had the privilege of spending a bit of time here, but I want to try and get your story across to our beautiful Muk family. As I mentioned last week, we are just trying to give you a window into this beautiful family we have within Muk, not just within Australia, but around the world. So it's a pleasure having you on the show. So what we're going to do is what we start off with every week is just give us a brief background into Scott Bailye and your hairdressing background.
Well, I started hairdressing when I was 15 on work experience. And I was always creative at school. That was my strength as opposed to mathematical or into English. So obviously the creative side was stronger, and then literally got a job working at a local salon, which was the best salon in Leicester. And then it went from there. I did my apprenticeship and then wanted to better myself, as we all want to better ourselves. But I actually went on then to do a second apprenticeship with Tony and Guy, which of course I know we talked about Tony and Guy in the past, and worked there for many years, did the London thing, and then moved on to wanting to get my own dream, which was to get my own salon and come back with the skills that I had to my community, which is where we live in a small village just outside Leicestershire. So I wanted to bring back what I'd learned and then hopefully teach others. So that's what the plan was with that. And then, of course, as we all, as hairdressers, want to dream and live our dreams, and I wanted to go around the world. So I went to join another company, TG, became part of their artistic family, went around the country doing stage work, education, which of course education then started to be very strong in what I like doing, and then went from there to Paul Mitchell to then become a UK artistic team member, and then go on to America to be a global artist, to then eventually go around the world, which was a great pleasure. And then of course Muk came into my life, and now I'm part of your beautiful family and working with you guys. So eventually my dream is now to eventually probably go see Australia and do that part of the world. So as I say, we all tend to dream, we want to do things, but education is one of the forefront things that's in my mind. I've been educating now for 20 years and really enjoy giving back to people, and sharing is really important part of my life. But education, hairdressing, passion, like yourselves, it's very, very important. And in the UK, it is really important over here, and we like sharing as well. So I've done a bit of the magazine work, television work, done some celebrities as well. Victoria Beckham being my biggest celebrity that I've ever done. So I've had a really, really good hairdressing career so far in the 33 years I've been doing it. But never afraid to stop learning.
That's fantastic, Scott. I had no idea about all of that background and your backstory. So you bring a lot of experience to the Muk family, and I know that you work with Kate and Alan and Lawrence and the whole Muk family over there in the UK. So how did you kind of come to be part of the Muk family over there, and what do you actually do for Muk UK?
That's a great question. In the United Kingdom, we had a salesperson come in with 4 cans of the paste, which of course, as we know, the hard Muk started the business many years ago. Hard Muk started my career also with Muk. It was an exciting product, something very different, and as a result of it, I then ended up working within the Muk family in the United Kingdom and finally becoming 5 years ago the UK Artistic Director, which was a great honour to be in that position. I head up the cutting part of the teaching. So basically, my strength is within cutting. So I work with Kate and the rest of the team, and very kindly, being part of that team is great. So that's predominantly what I do over here in the United Kingdom. My strength is in the cutting, and that's what I teach. So I love that.
Yeah, fantastic.
Awesome stuff, mate. And Victoria Beckham, wow, I didn't realise that you'd done Victoria Beckham's hair. Very... I should tell Lulu she loves the Spice Girls. Anyway, so you're outside of London, aren't you? For our Australian and international viewers that are not that geographically familiar with London, you're in Leicestershire, right?
Right, correct.
Do you support Leicester City?
Anybody who lives in Leicestershire would, because we won the cup in 2015.
I remember when Leicester City won the league. I remember a lot of people in Australia and the sports commentators in America, they couldn't say Leicestershire, they were saying Leicester. Anyway, so tell us a little bit about the size of your team in Salon, because obviously we see a lot of you on Facebook Lives, and what kind of work are you guys really, what's your niche?
The team in the Salon has gone from quite a big team. We've now shrunk the Salon size to a slightly smaller team. We've got 7 in the Salon now. Our niche generally tends to, we tend to work between a big demographic of young to mature, but we tend to work mainly with the working person. We have a lot of sort of teenage through to sort of, the age of people that would be at work, say sort of 40, 50 mark. The niche, we do balayage, strong cuts, a lot of high fashion work. We tend to do a lot of training within the business as well, so we can move forward as a salon and a team. So again, we're doing a lot of high fashion colours. See the colour bar behind me, constantly evolving with colour. Some great colour technicians, and very, very strong work we're sending out there, as well as commercial, classics, avant-garde. It's all there. We're doing all of it at the moment, so it's strong.
If I can just follow on from that, are you in a village in Leicestershire?
Yeah.
You're in like a small English, like Midsummer Murders village.
Not quite. Everybody's alive.
Without the murders.
Correct. It used to be the largest village in England until recently, and it changed to a town. So it was quite.
And what's the name of it?
Shilter.
Shilter.
Shilter. Correct.
I've never heard of that. Awesome stuff.
So, Scott, with your that large demographic that you have, and you sort of sounds like you cross a lot of work in the salon, and I noticed that you have on your website a statement being beautifully individually styled hair, which sounds very much what you're talking about. What does that look like as far as how do you make sure that happens at Scott Bailye Hairdressing?
Each haircut is like a canvas. It's like individual painting down to key dialogue questioning, which I'm really, really strong on doing that, which I think consultation is really, really important. Without a good consultation and key dialogue questions, you cannot achieve what we try to achieve there. in terms of with that look, and then as a team we work together with the technician, with me obviously, so I do not colour. So that's what's really strong here. It's a good consultation, a good key dollar question.
Yeah, I think that's it's so key to getting those individualised results for your clients, the consultation aspect. And do you work in the salon as do you sort of specialise in cutting and have then specialist sort of colour technicians in the salon, or are you all rounders? Do you all do everything?
Everybody here is an all-rounder except for myself. My true strength is in cutting. That's literally what I specialise in, the cutting part of it. So I do 5 days purely behind the chair, as Clive puts it. I literally back to back. So yeah.
Yeah. So as far as like the consultation side of things goes, when you're doing that consultation and there's a colour aspect to it, are you involved in that colour consultation as well? Do you do that with the colourist?
Generally, if we are consultation the client, I would actually have myself and the colour technician together. We'd actually work together as a team and then talk the colour through and the cut, and then bring it all together at the very end, which again is very important to have teamwork, I would say, to have the confidence with the client as they're sitting there, sort of listening to both of us working together.
Awesome. You are a multi-award winning salon. What inspires you most, and what's your go-to for inspiration, Scott? Because I too lived in a very small English rural village, and you've got to look around, right? You've got to train your eye to see. So, what's your go-to?
My go-to, well, ultimately, I spoke about go-to earlier on, is goal setting. Goal setting is really important. Get a lot of my inspiration from people, literally watching other people, looking at what the top figures of hairdressing are doing right now. A lot of magazine work, and also I tend to watch a lot of YouTube, so I tend to get a lot of inspiration from that. So it's good to go back to what you did before sometimes, and try to reinvent things sometimes. That works for me. So really, it's a question of all of that together is what is my go-to. It's a whole package that just pushes me forward constantly.
The good news is this will be on YouTube on the Muk channel, so you can go back and revisit this at any time. Awesome stuff.
Very good.
So you mentioned your passion for training, Scott, and obviously you've done a lot of training yourself, and both for you and the team, and then for others as well. And that's something that it seems like you naturally just kind of want to give and want to share. So tell us about just your own training. What do you do as far as your training goes, and the salon team? Do you have a structured training program that you have in place for the salon team? Is that weekly? Is it does it happen kind of more organically? How do you go about making sure that training's in place within the salon?
Salon's very busy most of the time. Training is very important because it is part of the philosophy of the business. We do try and train very frequently. With the apprentice, we tend to train every week, which again is very important. I think we can generally learn from one another from watching in the salon in the daytime, because everybody's doing very different things, and I think watching is learning, as many other hairdressers do that. But I think it's very important to be able to have a structured training program in place, which we've had for many years now, and I think that for us works really, really well, definitely. And sharing things that we've learned, because of course as we go along in our career, we think, why don't you try this? This may work better. So again, communication is really important to be able to stand at the colour bar, probably change, a mixture of a colour or something like that. So it's great with training, and that's how we work it within the business, and that works for us.
Yeah, great. Do you have like Kate and the team? Come in, like the techs come into the salon? Do they spend much time with you guys?
Yes, they do. They come here and do training with us. So we have Kate. We have a strong connection with being part of the family in the United Kingdom. They come in quite frequently, and do team meetings when we can do it. But we do obviously try to be updated with what's going on there with them. In fact, we've got a balayage course coming up very shortly at the end of this month. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, that's great. It's a great way to kind of keep the team re-inspired and connected. You know, just having someone from Muk come in, have an educator come in, and just you know, sort of it helps as a salon owner, I think, sometimes to have someone else to come in and take the reins of the training as well, because, you know, just that different voice and the reinforcing of things that you're training, just having someone else come in and share that with you as well is great. And that's obviously the whole Muk technical team, in no matter which country you're in, are able to do that to support salon owners. So it's great that you've got that support there.
So you touched on the word there, reinforcing. That's really important. I mean, from educating myself and going out and reinforcing the message, I think, as you say, the team does need reinforcement of training. I think that having somebody from the outside of such looking at your business is good also, because they are bringing fresh ideas within your business, and that we find that motivates our team a lot. So it's good, very good.
And I can't agree with you more about the importance of getting your apprentices or other staff to watch what you do. You mentioned at the beginning of the interview that you did a second apprenticeship at Tony and Guy, which I'm assuming that was your Vardering, right?
It was, right.
And you know, and I don't know if people know this, but the word Varda is actually the Latin word to watch, and that's what you do. You basically watch. You stand next to someone and you mirror their body positioning, you mirror the way they hold their hair. You actually watch all day long, and then you put it into practice. So I think I can't agree with you more. That's so important. Talking of watching, I think all of us met you first through your Facebook Lives, and you know, you are definitely a character when it comes to that. So tell us a little bit about the live session. This is not on my script, but I said to Judi, I have to ask you this. The beginning part, the woo, where does that come from? Is that I've got this image of you doing this in the school playground. It's something you've done for a while, isn't it? Tell us about
I was very shy at school. Believe it or not, I was very shy at school. I was a very shy person. And my father has always DJ'd, so I DJ also. That's my sort of, I know you do a bit of DJing, Clive, as well. So that sort of brought the confidence out of me on a microphone. And this whole thing about doing the live feed, I always wanted to make a DVD of hairdressing and sharing work that I do, which of course now I'm getting that pleasure of doing that, working with other people and sharing what we all do. But the live Facebook thing had just come out. I was on holiday with Glenda and I thought I can do something with this. So I thought I'd get my father to film it, and we just get random people in off the street and make it as real as we can. So what the audience sees, they see what I see. So we put the camera over my shoulder and we have a training session. That's kind of what I wanted to do. I wanted to do 3 of them and really just share things that we were doing and get people in a situation where they could use it as some kind of education tool. And then I suppose really the character, because I've got to pull out main character, the whole woo thing is what I do, that's how I am. And it just comes across, and it ended up going to 80. We've just done 80 of them. So I'm hoping to do another 20 and round it off to 100, which is what I really want to do. So that's where the live feed idea came from. Again, sharing education is really important, and it was my way of really sharing what I have and what I do. That's where I did.
I love it. I love it. And I love the fact that you use just people off the street. I mean, it's just, you know, you're not doing a Vogue shoot, you know what I mean? It's just regular people that you're cutting, which is what we all do every day. Incidentally, I have to share something with you. You know, you always tag me in those lives. Well, my family live very close to yours, right? And I can't tell you how many aunties and uncles have seen my tag and gone, your dad's not happy because you've been to England and you haven't been to see him, right? So if you see me untag myself, it's because my family are going, why didn't you call us? Why haven't you been? So it opens up a plethora of questions. I'm like, I wasn't there, honestly. So, but yeah, no, it's awesome. I love it, Scott. It's awesome.
Oh yeah, I tagged you because I respect you, and I wanted you to see what I do.
No, I love it. It's just everyone thought I was there. My dad's girlfriend was like, what were you doing in Leicestershire and you didn't come and see us? I went, I wasn't there, right?
I wanted you to see that I was hopefully on the same hymn sheet as what we all are in the Muk family. That was the whole purpose of that. Little did I know that when I tagged Judi in, I didn't know that Judi was so high in the business. At the end of the day. So it's great, and it's nice.
Great.
It's awesome.
Yeah, very happy to be tagged, Scott. It's great, and I think I actually love your passion for education, and you know, all three of us absolutely share that, and that's what we're here for. That's our heart. That is our passion, is education. So the fact that you've done 80 lives and you're planning on doing another 20, I think is phenomenal, and it just that sharing and the genuine and authentic sharing is so much about what Muk's about, and that's who we are, and we're that's what we want. You know, we want to share genuine and authentic real life salon scenarios, and that's exactly what you're doing. So I think it's amazing. So you recently had a day of filming on behalf of Muk, and we're going to see your upcoming sessions. So tell us about the day and how it all went. I loved seeing all the messaging and your excitement and all the conversations that were going on behind the scenes. And so tell us how it all went. I know you did that when you just came back from a lockdown, and you had some, you know, and probably still have some pretty tight restrictions that you had to work around. How did it all go?
Thank you for giving me that opportunity to be able to do that and share that with you. And I know other guest global educators on here have done Mannequin dolls, which is fantastic. I really wanted to do live people, which was a very short window to get models. Which sadly one of them dropped out at the very last minute, which we had to bring another one in, which was great because we did a major restyle. And the lady got married a week later, having not met me. So as we've talked about the live feeds, it was pretty much that situation. In terms of filming for you, it was an honour and a pleasure to be able to do 4 films in a day, 4 models. Great. I was really pleased with the results. It was pretty much like taking a Vardering exam for Tony Guy, actually. But I enjoy that pressure. I enjoy when you know you've got to turn out work of a high standard. I just really hoped that it would be to the standard that you would like and you would want. And that was at the back of my mind while I was doing it, thinking people are going to learn from this. And, you know, I'm sharing something that I do and I'm passionate about, the same as other people within the global education family. And I just hoped that what we turned out that day for you, that you'll see in the sessions in the future, is what was needed. But I thoroughly enjoyed the day. It was great. The team were great from the UK, and also the models were great. And I couldn't have asked for a better day. And this really is a great honour for us to showcase the United Kingdom into the family. I just think it's great that you gave me the opportunity. So thank you. It was brilliant.
Yeah,
I really loved it.
Thank you.
I needed a good sleep and a good drink afterwards.
Yeah, you would have. It was a big day, and yeah, really appreciate all the work that went in behind the scenes, and to Kate and the team over there who were very involved. Really appreciate it, because it's the sessions are going to be rolled out, and we'll be very much looking forward to sharing them with everyone.
Yeah.
There's no Wayne team, and at the end of the day, I think that Kate and Rich did a superb job at filming it and being there as the support. We worked together very closely, the UK artistic team, and it was a great pleasure to work with them both. And I'm truly grateful that they were there that day to work with me. So it was nice. Sorry, Carl.
No, I was going to say, well, it definitely showed in the footage, mate. It's exceptional stuff. And, you know, I'm still getting my head around 80 lives. I don't know if you remember when we first started doing the lives from my house, I actually referred to you as the king of lives. I was like, well, I've got big boots to fill here, you know. But tell us a bit. I mean, you did your 4 looks, which again, that when I saw the footage come through, it did remind me of that Vardering program. Tell us what tell us what you're going to be showcasing.
Right, so showcasing for you when we do the sessions, when you see it, it starts with a gent skin fade, which again I find doing gentleman skin fade and scissor overcombing very challenging for most hairdressers, but it's great to show structure on that. So you'll see that within the session of how it works, how the cutters work, everything else. And then we went into then a pixie cut, which again I love doing everything, but pixie strong, structured look, soft with a lot of movement throughout the top. The colours were pre-done by the technician here within the business with the Muk colour range. The third haircut was very interesting because it was a lady who was getting married a week later. She had a drastic restyle from long to short, into a graduated bob, as in full graduation in the back. So you see the strength and structure of the shape, including angles and how that works. And the last lady, of course, long haircut, strong razor through the front with a strong perimeter. And then, of course, you'll see a hidden, invisible layer with one of my favourite techniques I like using, which of course the straight cut. I love sharing that, so the positioning of the scissors, and of course it makes the layer invisible, so you can wear it straight and also you can wear it fuller. So I really try to put as much as I could into these sessions, so you can see many different techniques and many different looks. So I think
congratulations, mate! It's amazing stuff, and I can't wait. We can't wait to share it with the family. Jude, mate, I'm just throwing it out there. When Scott does his 100th live, do you think? I mean, that's in 20 weeks. Do you think we could go and do it from his salon?
Oh God! Wow, that'd be worth the quarantine.
And then I'm thinking, what I could do is just tag all my family, and they can all turn up. I'm here at last. Dear.
That would
Who knows where we'll be in 20 weeks.
Whether we get to be there live or whether we get to be there tagged, we'll be happily be there. We will be very happy to be there. So, So, Scott, tell us about the high level of service that you offer in the salon, and what is it that clients expect? What does that look like for your salon, and in the UK, that high level of service that you offer?
It comes in three parts: high level service. First part is first class, world class service. So you treat the customer with utmost respect, consultation, good haircut, everything they want. Secondly, it's got to be a question of consistency. I think consistency is really important with anything you're doing, whether it's your ethos, that you work, the way you work, and the way that you turn out your work and what you're doing. And the last one, of course, is added value, which again is really important. That could be the added value of using the Muk product range within the haircut, the wardrobe to make it look good at the end of it. It could be the added value of the complimentary drinks, the complimentary hand and arm massage that we do, because of course we can't do it at the moment because of lockdown, but we do a complimentary hand and massage where we integrate the apprentices into the clients. So again, it gives them a chance to meet and greet the apprentices and bring them within the business as well, which is really important to me, that everybody gets a chance to be with the clients. Again, with lockdown, we can't do any of that at the moment, so it's a real shame. We cannot deliver that part. But when lockdown finally goes, we feel we can get that back, which would be fantastic. So that is really what the business is all about, those three items, and also including everybody, not leaving anybody out. So the customer experience going from A to B to C to D is purely an involvement with the younger members of the team, the future professionals that are learning within the business, so they get hands-on. And then eventually, if the client wants to come back and have a blow dry, when the apprentice is learning or qualified, they can go with them. So that's how I work it.
I really love that idea, and I think as a young person coming in and starting your apprenticeship, it's a really great opportunity to, if you don't have confidence, to be introduced to the clients in that way, and then that just gaining those skills in talking to people, because it's interesting that you said that you were quite shy. Back when you were at school, right. So there was you walking into a salon, would have had to gain your confidence in interacting and how to sort of, speak to people and how to be comfortable around gaining clients. So I think that's a great way to introduce your apprentices and the younger members of the team to build them up in that very important customer service aspect.
I also am a national apprenticeship ambassador as well, so I actually go out and champion apprenticeships to the point I've been to Parliament and actually stood up and spoken to key members of Parliament about apprenticeships. So it's a big thing for me, big passion, the end of the day, that young people for the future do get to learn any sector, but especially in hairdressing, that they get real good quality training, which again is really important to all of us.
That's so good, Scott. I remember you telling me that now, that you went to Parliament and lobbied for the apprenticeship thing. That's the future of our industry, right? I mean, without them, we don't have a future. So that's awesome. Now, I am, as you can probably tell from listening to the last few weeks, I love listening to podcasts. I'm constantly searching for knowledge, and I put something on my Instagram last week. I saw an acceptance speech by Denzel Washington, and I love a quote. All right. And I've got it written on my whiteboard. It says, "I have the talent to succeed, but do I have the guts to fail?" And always fall forward onto something, never fall back into something. Because if you're falling forward, you're always going to see what you're falling into. And that really, that resonated with me. So what's the best advice you've ever been given? And it doesn't have to be about hairdressing or whatever it may be, but what's the best advice you've ever been given or heard recently?
Best advice I've always been given is learn what you can learn, the best you can learn it, and don't get bad habits. That's ultimately one of the things. And also, of course, never give up on your dreams, which is something I really live by. As I've said to you earlier on in this interview, that you literally goal set yourself, and it's up to you to make that happen. And I think we all set ourselves goals. It has to be realistic goals, but it's up to you to make that change and make that difference yourself.
The interesting thing with goals is too that if you can set really big goals, but it's just that bit by bit and day by day working towards it. And if you haven't got them, you're gonna achieve them. If you aim for nothing, you're gonna get nothing. So it's interesting just sort of setting those goals always and then constantly sort of working towards them. I think that's something I love to do as well, and it's great. And who do you admire hairdressing wise, and who do you follow on social media? What is it that inspires you about the work other hairdressers are doing?
What inspires me in terms of a hairdresser, probably Anthony Muscola has always been a big inspiration in my life. From the tanning car days, I had the pleasure of meeting him, watching him in a photo session. Vidal Sassoon, of course, always been a big inspiration to me. And of course, Clive. Clive is a big inspiration.
You don't have to say that because you're on my show.
I watch what you do, and I've watched you for a long time. Before we had the pleasure of meeting you, I was so honoured to meet you.
Thank you. Actually, it's not my show. It's Clive and Judi, like Richard and Judi.
I'll give you an example. When I worked at Tony Guy, I wanted to meet the people at the top because they inspired me a lot. When I worked at Paul Mitchell, I wanted to go to the top and meet those people because they inspired me within that business. Now, when I'm working with Muk, from the beginning, I wanted to learn who are the people at the top. These people inspire me, and all of a sudden, I was watching a lot of you at the very beginning before I even met you. But it was great because I thought, it's nice to watch you cut in. It reinforces the things that I used to do. You're an inspiration to not just me, but to a lot of other people as well. And I think that's important, that you need to know that. When you get up every day and you do live shows, people do sit and watch it. I watch it. I think it's great. So really, there is the three main people that inspire me is Clive, and Anthony Muscola and Vidal Sassoon. Solid.
Wow. Big boots to be up with.
That is the answer.
Yeah. Thanks, mate.
That's the question.
Yeah.
Social media wise, who inspires me on social media? Wow. Many people inspire me. I'll see pictures. I like to sit and watch at night and look and see what's coming through. So I think we can all get inspiration from what's happening on a hashtag. But at the moment, I tend to keep the other members of the family of Muk and look around and see what everybody else is doing, because I think you can get a lot from that. So currently at the moment, that's what I'm doing, drawing inspiration from Muk Global, from around the world.
Yeah, that's so great. That's so great. And two things on that. Number one is I think that we are in a really, really fortunate time in history where we are not just having to go to hair shows and see people on stages, but there can be some really amazing hairdressers doing some great work in salons in regional Australia or, you know, villages in the UK, and with social media we can actually have access and look at this beautiful work that lots of hairdressers are doing. And secondly, Clive is inspirational because Clive, I just want to give you a shout out too, because thank you, Scott, that was so beautifully said. You know, all throughout the last, since March, week in, week out, you've been there and you've just sort of led us and inspired us with what you've been doing, and even the old unicycle incident hasn't stopped us. And so thank you for what you're doing as well.
Oh, thank you guys. I really appreciate it. I'm not very good with taking compliments. I get all embarrassed, but yeah, I just do what I do. And talking of inspirational quotes, I mean, what I heard many years ago, just tell the truth, it's less to remember. And that's what I do. When it comes to hair, when I'm teaching someone, whether I'm doing this, you know, I am who I am. And I don't make any apologies for that. In fact, it's part of my DNA of what I do. But thank you so much for your
work. And that's why it works at Muk as well, because
wow, that was completely off script. But anyway, I know everything for a reason. So broke this, and this wouldn't be happening if we didn't break the wrist. So it's all good, right? So I know that you've been through a massive lockdown in the UK. I think it was 4 or 5 months in total, which is very similar to sort of Chase in South Africa. What's the one thing that you're going to take away from now? This is sort of, the dust is kind of clearing. What's the one? And I'm going to go around the houses a bit here. You mentioned goals and goal setting. I know that my goals in January disappeared. You know, my goals now are very different to what they were in January because of what happened. So what's the one thing that you're going to take away from this whole experience of this lovely sandwich we've been dealt this year?
That hairdressing is important. The hairdressers were important. I think that's the one thing that we've learned, because we've seen some interesting haircuts, and we've also, I think, because I didn't cut hair for 4 months, I didn't. Apart from cutting my trees, you probably saw that on Facebook. I like trimming my trees outside from the house. I have to do some kind of creativity while I'm not a hairdresser.
Jack the Clipper.
Yeah, exactly. But they're all like individual heads. Yeah. But the thing is, I think what I take from this situation is that you realise what effect you have on people's lives with what you do, and also what skill set you have. Because when you can't cut hair, or not able to cut hair, as you would probably know yourself with the injury that you've got on your hand at the moment, Clive, it's kind of hard because you do it day in, day out, and when you can't do it, it's quite frustrating. But then when you come to do it again, you think, oh, actually, I really love doing this, and it's such a great feeling to see somebody actually genuinely happy from what you do. And that's the biggest thing I want to take from this, that we have people coming in the salon trying to hug me before I even touch their hair, because of what you do for people, and in turn what they do for you. So really it's a 360 thing of making somebody feel good, but on the other hand making you feel good as well. And I think that's very inspirational as a hairdresser.
Oh wow, that's so good. And I was having exactly that conversation today with someone, that how I really value that from the experience of people sort of being in lockdown and not being able to have their hair done, that we as hairdressers are valued by our clients about making them feel so much better about themselves. And it might just be getting their hair done that helps them just boost and feel much better, having had not a great situation, you know, and having their hair done is such an important part of their self-esteem. So I think that's such a great thing, and hairdressers self-esteem rises because of that as well, that we are important, and we've got some perspective on that now. So I think it's a good thing to come out of this year, knowing that we've really, we've always known it, but I think just that reminder, and and getting back to doing hair and loving hair again, I think is really great. So when you've gotten back in the salon and you've gotten back to doing hair, you've gotten back to your Muk products. Tell us about your 2 favourite Muk products that you can't live without.
My 2 favourite Muk products that I can live without. Well, first and foremost, 21. Absolutely brilliant product. It does what it says on the tin. I use that for everything. It makes hair look amazing. I really love that product. It's one I've used from the beginning. I really enjoy it. And the second choice of favourite product, it's quite difficult actually, but I would say the versatility of the product would be, because I am a risk taker with some products, what I do. I'll take one a second. I like using the hard Muk. That's probably my other favourite product. Not just because it's the first product that started the company and my first product that I ever used, but because I like blow drying hair with it on. So I put it onto the hair when it's wet, blow dry it in. So if a guest comes in and says, I don't want product in my hair, you can blow dry it in and it's styled, but you can't feel it. And you can also use it as a finishing product. So those would be my 2 favourite products that I really like.
Whoa. Sorry, Jude, do you mind if I jump in? Run that by me again.
I know.
You're telling me you put hard Muk in wet hair and then blow dry it?
Correct.
Wow, I have to try this.
I use it on bobs. I use it on short hair. I use it on ladies that have round brush blow dryers. So you put it in as an alternative product.
I can't wait for this to come off now. I've got to do
I
that.
know. And this is what I love. It's you take the product in, you train it, and then you go back, and then people come up with 17 other ways to use it. And so there you go. Like, who would have thought? Hard Muk.
I love it.
Rub it in. Amazing.
Whoa, you got me thinking now.
You asked the question. You've seen it on the live.
Oh, we're gonna cover this when we're in Leicestershire and Leicester doing your 100th live. Anyway. Okay. Right, now we are coming towards the final 4. Now we ask this with all of our guests. Where's your most favourite place on earth that you've ever been to?
That's a good one. That is a really good one. I could actually turn to my wife and say, help me on that one. There's many different places that we all like as our favourite place. I would say, probably, I haven't been to it. I know you asked the question where you've been to. I have somewhere I want to go to.
Hang on, that's your next question.
Right, we'll come to that. My favourite place I've ever liked going to, probably New York, I'd say.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
The different areas within it, different cultures, the architecture that is beautiful, and I think it's got everything under one roof. Totally. The noise, hustle and bustle, fashion, it's all there. I'd say New York City. Definitely.
Would you agree with that,
Same as
Jude?
on your cat. I just noticed your cat.
I love
New York.
Love it.
Yeah. New York's one of those cities. I think there's like New York, London, and Paris are those cities where when you go there, they are everything you imagined it and more than you thought. There are some places you get there and you go, really? Like Los Angeles was like that for me. It was nothing like I expected. I was like, but New York never fails to deliver. All right. So it's strange. I ended up living in LA for 8 years. I'm still trying to work it out. Anyway, where can't spit it out. I always struggle with this one. Where's next on your bucket list? Where do you want to go to?
In terms of
anywhere in the world. Anywhere in the world. Your dream place.
2 places I'd like to go. The actual question that's aimed at is on my 50th birthday, which is not too far away now. I'd like to go to big James Bond fan. Love James Bond. I On Her Majesty's Secret Service was filmed in the highest restaurant in the world in Switzerland, at Pete's Gloria. On my 50th birthday, I would love to be with my wife and best friends drinking champagne, looking out over that horizon of the Swiss Alps. That would be the ultimate place to go. The second place I'd like to go, and is on my bucket list, is Muk Haircare in Australia.
Ooh, good answer.
I've wanted that from day one. So that's where I really want to be aiming for eventually, to come visit you guys, come out there, watch, maybe share. Australia, definitely. So those are the two places that are on my list to go to.
Yeah, very similar, Switzerland and Melbourne. They're like,
yeah.
they're both extremely cold in the winter. When's your 50th, by the way?
A year in April next year, so it's a year and a half.
About 20 weeks away. That should be working well for our trip to.
Totally, we can come.
Yeah, exactly. The only thing is,
we can come to Switzerland as well.
I'll bring my own teapot, because I can't drink champagne anymore, so I can't drink anything. I'll drink tea, right? Especially on the top of a mountain, it could all go horribly wrong. Anyway,
you looked it up on Google.
I just watched a documentary about that restaurant. Actually, they actually took a Thai, the top Thai chef, over to that restaurant, and he cooked Thai food for a week at the top of the mountain. And it was fascinating. They had to fly all the produce over. Yeah, I watched it. It was fascinating. Right, what are you most grateful for in your life so far?
Well, that's a good question. What am I most grateful for in my life? I'm very grateful for the way that I've been taught through my career. So I'm grateful to all the educators and people that have influenced me in my career. I'm also grateful for the opportunities that I've also had in my life. And I'm also very grateful to my wife and my family and friends for their support. I think all of that together, you can't ask for any more, because I am self-driven, but you need the support of the people with you. And like I say on stage, behind every good man is a greater woman. So probably my wife is one of my biggest support people that I'm grateful for, as well as my parents. But I think you have to be grateful for the people that support you in order to enable you to do what you do every day. That would be the answer to that question.
Amen to that. What do you reckon? I mean, I think my gratitude list is growing along. My wife's got me onto this thing of doing gratitude lists every day, and with Deepak, the whole thing, and it's amazing what's around us every day. We can be so caught up with what's on social media, and we got to be so grateful for what's right there in front of us. And happy days. Last question, and you can do both or choose one of the two. What's your current go-to? Now I know you mentioned you're a DJ. What's your playlist in your salon? I know you love your 80s. So it's either, you know what, forget the podcast. Tell us about your playlist.
Playlist in the salon. It's, believe it or not, it's chill out music. What I tend to listen to, which could be a diversity of jazz, lounge music, groove armada, that kind of thing. It's very interconnected with different influences from holidays. I've got two playlists. It's called the Poolside playlist and also the Personal Indulgence. So on Personal Indulgence, you'd have a few tracks that are obscure, that fit in the bill, that would work well in the salon, and for the Poolside playlist, music to relax and really.
They're on Spotify.
Melodies? No, they're on Apple Music.
Apple Music. Okay. No, we're gonna get Macgregor to put it up right now, where we can find it. Is that right, Jude?
Yeah. Definitely. We love a good playlist.
Yeah. No, happy days. Just quickly, is there any podcasts that you listen to regularly that we need to know about?
I'd love to say I do listen to podcasts. I never listen to podcasts. I go to bed at night and search for music. That's the only time I listen to anything like that. Never listen to the radio, hardly at all. Never watch the news, very rarely. Just music, purely music. I have a big collection of music at home, and that's what I tend to listen to a lot. I get the news from the clients when they come in, the guests, and podcasts. Sadly, maybe I should go into that and listen to it, but I tend to get a lot of relaxation from listening to music at night. That is what I would do. What other people listen to podcasts.
Jude, I know you and I love listening to podcasts. I listened to the TED Talk daily the other day, and it started off, whoever was talking on Sunday, I was at the beach, and she said, you know what, it's really good to turn your phone off and not listen to podcasts and just listen to your brain. And I thought, great, and I turned it off. It worked, and I was like, I'd only listened to the first 20 seconds, and I was like, you know what, this is stupid. I've listened to about the fifth one in a row I've listened to. Just turn it off and enjoy your time with your family. It's a time and a place. Over to you, Jude.
Scott, what an absolute pleasure it's been spending some time with you today. Thank you so much for the fitting in with the time zones to start with, and being with us. And it's just been such an honour to get to know you a little bit better, to really share that education passion that you have for the Muk family to get to know you. It's just been fantastic. So thank you so much for your time today. And we're really looking forward to your sessions coming up.
Yeah, and likewise. You know, there's one thing, and this is what we wanted to do with these sessions, and that's give people a window into who our beautiful family, you know, who they are. And, you know, what's come across today is that you're not only just a very talented hairdresser, you're extremely humble, you've got great integrity, you're a beautiful human being. So thank you for sharing your insights with us today. We've really enjoyed it. And thank you, Jude, once again.
Thank you.
You know, and I wanted to just mention at the end as well, in that, you know, because we do the lives every Monday, I get to see the feed throughout the week. And I just want to say thank you to everyone who posts their work on the Muk, on this page, because it is outstanding. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't know about you, Jude, but I look at this. I mean, styling's not my thing. You know, I'm a cutter, and some of the styling we see on this site is insane. So
yeah, it's beautiful, and the colour work. It's so great that everyone shares their work, and it's important to share, and we love seeing it. We love having the page, and it is for everyone. It inspires everyone. So there's some people that use the page to just look at, and that's fine as well. But we love it when you share your work.
Yeah, likewise. Just keep that coming in, and just keep the comments coming in. If there's anything you want to know or anyone you want to see, pop it in the comment box below, and we'll get to it sometime during the week. But thank you for your well wishes, lovely messages, and yeah, keep that great work coming through. We really look forward to it. Thanks, Jude, once again.
Thank you.
We'll go about our day. Another week. Here we go again. And yeah, not long to go now. Lots of love. Thank you, Scott.
Thank you both for the opportunity, and keep doing what you're doing with the family. It's absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much. Take care.
No worries.